Welcome back to episode number 3 of A Drama in the Dirt. Um, Sorry if I sound really bad. Me, my best friend, her fiance, and my husband went out to have a dinner. They helped us renovate the house I mentioned we were going to be moving into, and we went out for dinner at a restaurant in town. But little did we know they were also doing karaoke. We didn't get to sing no karaoke. I don't know. The guy just, decided not to come give us a paper that we were supposed to write our thing on, or what song we wanted to sing. Oh. So, yeah, we went out, didn't know it was karaoke night. Didn't get to sing anyways because he didn't even bring over a paper for us to write our requested songs on. So we ended up having some drinks, and afterwards we went back to my best friend's house and had some drinks, and then we came to our house and had some drinks and did some karaoke here, and I am like still recovering, okay? It was really fun, but honestly, I don't drink like that anymore, and when I do, it hits so hard. So I almost lost my voice. That would be from like the singing and stuff, but I'm over it. It was fun. I'd go out and do it again, just not anytime right soon. Anyways, I had mentioned that we were going to dedicate this podcast episode to like questions, stories, confessions, even relating to episode 1, which was all about heartbreak and, being rejected and falling in love. Also, winding in questions and stuff from episode number 2, which was all about like the disastrous sex and what she really wants in bed and everything else. If you didn't listen to it, go listen to it. You're missing out. Anyways, I did not expect to get the amount of questions and stories that I did, but that's fine. I'm not going to go through every single one of them. I did screenshot a bunch of them on my iPad so that I could read them all to you. We could go over them, over the questions, and yeah, we'll just take it from there. By the way, I am chilling, okay? I don't got no makeup on. I have this comfy crew neck thing on that literally says taking it easy because I am. And like my work tights are on. My hair is still braided, and I just threw this hat on because I just felt like I should throw a accessory in there. So this is the one we went with. But anyways, let's get to what you guys have sent in. Okay, I actually really like this question. Someone sent in, because I'm not mentioning names, it's completely anonymous. Someone sent in, how do you rebuild your self-esteem after a heartbreak? I love this question because, like I said in episode 1, when a girl goes through a heartbreak, it's completely different than when a guy does, okay? It evens out in the end because he does end up feeling the heartbreak eventually. It's just men handle it so much more differently than girls, okay? But I do love this question because I had a really hard time with self-esteem, even like not even something to do with a heartbreak. This was just in general. But I think self-esteem is very, very important. If not for the relationship, at least for yourself, okay? So, like, when you go through a breakup, 9 times out of 10, your self-esteem goes down because there was obviously a reason they wanted to break up with you. And if anybody's like me, your automatic thing is they just weren't attracted to me anymore. And I call bullshit on that, okay? If you're fire, you're fire. That's it. That's all. I know it's really hard to see it that way when you're the one going through the heartbreak. But honestly, this question needed to be said because you should not have to rebuild your self-esteem. You should be not saying perfectly fine. Like, I would be sad. Be sad. But I would not tear myself apart wondering why it ended. Sorry, I had to fix my camera. I did not like where it was sitting. Anyways, yeah, I would not tear myself apart wondering why it ended. It obviously ended for a reason. What's meant to be will be. What's not meant to be won't. And if you are struggling with having your self-esteem brought down after a breakup, my favorite app is Pinterest. I'm going to be completely honest. I go to Pinterest for everything. There is literally lists and like boards that people have made to build up your self-esteem again, or to have that hot girl summer, or whatever you're looking for. There is a list and you will find it on Pinterest. Honestly, if I went through a breakup and I had really bad self-esteem, I would go on Pinterest. I would find a board or like pins or a list that said like, okay, this month is all about self-care and, anything you need to build up that self-esteem, because your self-care is the most important thing. Whether you're going through a breakup or not, you should be putting yourself first. I'm not saying you can't care about anybody else. Obviously, don't be like that. But you need to make sure you're okay, to make sure you are able to be there for other people that are not okay or need your support or your help. So honestly, that, and don't be afraid to talk to people about what happened. Don't be afraid to open up to somebody. Make sure you have a person. I have my person. My husband is my person, but if we were to ever break up or something was to happen to one of us or something, my best friend is my person. She is the person I would go to for absolutely everything. And if I felt like I was falling apart, she would be the first one to know. But I did really enjoy that question. I think that question was really important. And thank you. I almost said the name. Thank you for sending that in to the anonymous person. Yeah, I'm a Pepsi Zero drinker. I used to think these were disgusting. I only drank regular Pepsi. But yeah, I'm trying to be a little bit more healthier. And I don't want to completely quit drinking pop. I don't like the energy drinks or the Alani or anything like that. So I just went with Pepsi Zero. Okay, let's find. Whoa, that I'm glowing. Literally, that sun is so bright. That curtain isn't going to close anymore. Anyways, let's move on to our next. We'll do another question, because I think I'm on the list of questions right now. So we'll do that first. Can love exist without trust, or is trust the foundation of love? I love that question. I feel like I'm going to love them all. Anyways, trust is such a big thing in relationships. If you don't have trust in your significant other, there is going to be so many other issues that get brought up. They are going to make you feel like they're controlling you, because they're going to wonder what you're doing and where you're going every time you're out, and they're going to want you to message them all the time. And honestly, trust is really, really important. And if you break that trust with somebody some way, somehow, and you're going to try to make it work or work things out, honestly, put your best effort into it and don't rush the process, because it is going to take a long time. I think if there is no trust in a relationship, then the relationship isn't really real, if you get what I'm saying. If you are going to have no trust in each other and not work on it or make an effort to work on it, then why are you staying together? Honestly, it is going to tear you apart. It is going to tear them apart. And it's just going to cause so many issues. There's honestly, yeah, I would say that trust is the foundation of love. If you both can trust each other, then, you guys will be able to go out and do things without the other, just to have that little bit of space or time. Or like, you'll be able to go out shopping and go out with your girlfriend and get your nails done, or whatever you choose to do. And you won't have your phone blowing up with your significant other asking, who are you with? What are you doing? Where are you now? How long till you're home? You should have been home forever ago. Like that, it's going to happen if the trust is broken, but you want to work out of that. You don't want to continue like it is a acceptable pattern in the relationship. You don't want to accept it and just say, hey, it is what it is. Like, I made you not trust me, so I'm just going to deal with it. No, don't deal with it like that. Put your foot down. If you are serious, if you love the person, put your foot down and work through it. There is ways to work through it, and I would highly suggest just not sitting there putting up with it. That was actually a really good question. I feel like I am going to like all these questions. I did somewhat personally pick through them, but just because your question doesn't get said in this one doesn't mean it won't get said in the next one. So still send questions and everything in, and I will try to get through them all, but there is a lot. I was not expecting this much. The next question: how do you recover from a bad sexual experience with your partner? Okay. Personally, me and my husband, I don't think we've really ever had a bad sex experience. We've had like funny moments, or like moments that weren't supposed to happen that just happened or whatever, but we are really easygoing. We laugh about everything. We like to make fun of each other because we know we're both joking, and we laugh together. But if you're more of like in a serious relationship, like you guys are both just pretty serious, then if you have a bad sex experience, communicate that with them. Communication is key. Communicate that it was awkward for you, or like this happened and you just didn't like it, and don't just let it go, because there is not going to be a relationship after that. Now, every time you guys go to get in bed together, it's going to be super uncomfortable, super awkward. You're going to have thoughts running through your head, so you can't be in the moment and enjoy it. Honestly, the communication, talk to each other about everything that happened. Don't be embarrassed during the conversation. The conversation is happening so the embarrassment can go away and it's not awkward afterwards. And then you can move on, and next time you guys have sex together, it'll be great. And work together, figure it out. It's a relationship is all about trust and figuring things out together and communicating. And as long as you can do those three things, you guys are golden. There is nothing to worry about. This question I do really like. I just kind of read it to myself, but this question, well, I'll just read it first. I'm going to read this question and then I'll tell you what I think. Do you believe in the idea of healing after a breakup, or is it more about learning to live with it? I am going to compare love, heartbreak, to losing someone death-wise. Because when you lose someone death-wise, there is no healing to that. You start to heal and you start to live with it. That's all. You don't just heal and it all of a sudden doesn't hurt you anymore. It hurts every single day in its own way. Some days you cry about it. Some days you just think about it. And other days you literally have to call a therapist and be like, oh my God, this is happening. This is going through my mind. Am I going to be okay? And it's completely healthy to feel that way. But after a breakup, there's healing. Yes, is your heart broken? And do you feel like your world is literally crashing down? Yes. But there is healing. You will get over it. Whether that means you will be over it in a month or a year or however long, you will get over it. Don't ever think when someone leaves you that your world is over. You will get over it. You will learn to live without them. And whether you decide to be by yourself or you decide to find someone else, that is completely up to you. That's a personal preference thing. But don't ever feel like your life is revolved around a single person, and if that person's gone, you will never be okay again, because you will be. How do you feel about the look of sex in movies versus reality? Okay, I watched this movie, for example. It's called, what is it called? It's called Pleasure. It is all about this girl, Bella Cherry. The film is all about what she does to become an adult film star and everything she has to go through, all of her good experiences, bad experiences, the levels to go up to it. Did not watch it because I want to become a adult filmmaker, but I did watch it because it was an interesting storyline. Now, that kind of sex in movies was like, whoa. Whoa. That is not the type of movie you watch and then copy everything they do, because leave it for the professionals. But when it comes to other movies, I can't even think of one. But anyways, when it comes to other movies where there's just the sex scene, the falling in love and the sex scene, I love the movies where the sex scene is you can see the passion, you can see the chemistry, you can see the connection, you can see the fun that they're having. That I think is almost like reality. But when it comes to, like I said, the adult filmmaking scenes, or the ones that just look like they were completely fictional, those ones I just can't relate to reality. Everybody's sex life is completely different. Everybody's comfortable with different things. Different things are going to happen in everybody's bedroom. But that is just my personal preference. But I'm not saying if you see a sex scene on TV and you want to copy it, go right ahead. You can do it. You literally could do any way you wanted to. It's just what your personal preference is, how comfortable you are, what you're not comfortable with. You just those kind of things you have to go over. Okay, now on to the next question. How important is it to communicate what you want in the bed to your partner? That question wasn't a little bit more depth. I just kind of summed it up because I don't want to say all the details of this particular person's personal life, but it is extremely important. In the last podcast I did, I explained how important it was to communicate with your partner when it comes to being in bed, how awkward it can make it if you don't communicate, because one of you is going to feel awkward and uncomfortable, and it's not going to be the same and the way it should be. If you have your partner doing something in bed that you don't like, but they're under the impression you do like it and you don't say anything, they're not going to stop doing it. They are going to think you enjoy it and they are going to continue doing it. If your partner gets mad because you communicate he's doing something you don't like, or she is doing something you don't like, that is too bad for them. They will get over it, or the sex life will just be non-existent. Because I'm sorry, as a woman, when I don't like something in bed, I can completely be blunt, honest, and communicate that with my husband. And he understands, doesn't do it, no pressure, it's fine. But I do think if you're not communicating, it is kind of your fault if it's not enjoyable, because all you have to do is communicate with them. It works the same way. If he doesn't like something or like whatever, they should be able to communicate that to you too. That's what you would want them to do, so you don't continue to do it. That is what I would recommend. Although it is extremely important too. If you are that uncomfortable, it's just something you have to be prepared for that is going to not get better. It's going to honestly get worse. And there is the communication that you can do about it, but everybody's different. And honestly, that would probably be my only advice for that. And it is extremely important. So it'd be something to think about. Do I think love is something you find, or is it something you build over time? That's a really good question. Honestly, I think it's both. I think if you get with someone that you weren't expecting to get with, you were just going to try it out, then yeah, love can build over time and it can become a really strong relationship with a good foundation, and it could last forever. But I do believe that if you look at someone, and I don't care how fairy tale this shit sounds, I'm being completely honest. If you look at someone and you feel like you are absolutely falling in love, that you look at them and say, that is someone I need in my life and I want them there forever, then that is you finding love. It doesn't need to be built. It can be built, but I am not going to sit here and tell you that you are not going to get with someone and all of a sudden be in love with them. You cannot fall in love with someone that you just meet. Me and my husband, I'm sorry, but I seen him around school a couple times and we weren't like really together, but I said to myself, that's mine. He's mine. I need him. And honestly, when we got together, I was done. Like, I just fell head over heels. I didn't know absolutely almost anything about him. I just knew he is what I wanted to have beside me for the rest of my life. And I wouldn't take that back for anything. I do think that is a two-sided question, though, because I think that you definitely can build the love if it isn't there. But I also do believe that it is possible to look at someone and fall in love just from love at first sight, basically. Oh, I like this one. What is the best way to make a woman feel comfortable and confident in bed? Honestly, I think making her feel like she is the only girl in the world, she's on top of the world, is everything. I think if you're doing something she doesn't like, or, that will put down her self-esteem and her confidence and blah, blah. But, if you're like into it and you're comfortable and she knows you're into it and comfortable, that's everything, because that tells her she is doing a great job. Don't be afraid to feel her and like grab her and touch her. I'm not saying like grab her neck and make her stop breathing. Yes, some girls are into that. But I am saying, like, put your hands on her a little bit. Make her feel like, you want her just as bad as she wants you. I think if you are just laying there, it's no different than a woman starfishing it. You literally are starfishing it, and you can't expect a woman to feel comfortable if you're doing that. There needs to be, the connection, I'm not saying high five her and say, wait, you're doing a really good job, because that's just going to make shit really awkward. I'm saying when she is going and you're enjoying it, make it known. Make it known. You don't need to say, oh, that's good. You can, like, that will tell her it's good. But I mean, just remind her that you enjoy it and it's great, and send her dirty little text messages throughout the day, and like tell her how bad you want her and how bad you feel like you need her at that moment, that time, and what you can't wait to do to her when you get home. That is going to add up and make it steamy, and she is going to be so excited, and it will feel like a completely different person. Build up the confidence to right up until you guys get down to it. Okay. Me personally, I love to dirty talk with my husband over text. We do it all the time. It doesn't matter what we're doing, or, I can be at work, he can be at work, and we're texting. It doesn't mean we do it every single day. It's just we get in moments where, we like to talk dirty over text, and it's completely normal. It's completely healthy. I'm not saying like go in your work bathroom and take a picture of your bare ass for him. I mean, if you want to, go ahead. But I'm just saying it's nice to do that once in a while because it reminds me like he's at work, but he's still thinking about me and he's still thinking about what he wants to do to me when we get home. And that's exciting. That builds up the steam. And I personally love that. If you don't, I don't recommend doing it. But honestly, if you haven't tried it, then give it a try. Okay, now I want to get into some stories. There's none that are super long. Okay, I love this one. We were in a hotel room, and every time we moved, the bed squeaked. I kept trying to adjust, but no matter what, it sounded like we were creating music of awkward squeaks. Eventually, we just gave up and started a pillow fight instead. I love that, okay? It's hilarious. Okay, we've all been on that bed frame that squeaks, and it doesn't matter how slow you're gonna go or how quiet you're trying to be. It still squeaks, and it sounds like it's just magnified. Like, it's so loud. But I do love in this story how they didn't continue having sex, but they had fun with it still. Like, why not? And I'm sorry, but don't let a squeaky bed stop you. Everybody ends up having sex at some point in their life. I guess some people really don't, but most people end up having sex in their life, and everybody's going to understand at some point, whether they don't understand when it's happening and they just think like someone could be getting murdered, or I guess you're rearranging a whole hotel bedroom by yourself. But screw the squeaky bed, let it squeak, turn up the TV, like get a TV complaint, like just do something. Who cares if your bed is squeaking? But I am going to say the pillow fight is awesome. I think that is fantastic. I think that's great. And that honestly sounds like something me and my husband would do if we were like going to do something and we just decided not to. It's fun. So why not? Oh my goodness. Listen to this one. Me and my partner, we're trying to spice things up, so we got some new lube. But of course I didn't read the directions. I ended up accidentally pouring half the bottle onto us. We both slipped off the bed, and it turned into a wrestling match with both of us just laughing and slipping everywhere. That is hilarious. Anybody that has used lube before knows how slippery it is. But honestly, how do you pour half the bottle out onto you and your partner? That is crazy. Especially if it was literally like a wrestling match on the floor because you guys were slipping and sliding. That is insane to me. But hey, it definitely does not say that the moment wasn't finished. So I hope you guys did get to finish and experience it. Ooh, let's listen to this one. During a particular passionate moment with my partner knocked over a glass of water. It spilled all over the floor, and the sound of the water splashing was the only thing we could hear for a minute. We both paused, looked at each other, and then started giggling like school kids. Talk about a mood killer. Honestly, I don't know why once laughing gets added into the equation. Why is such a mood killer? I've mentioned before, me and my husband, we literally make fun of each other half the time. We laugh at each other, and when awkward moment happens, we honestly embrace it. We don't just give up and stop. That is no fun. Keep it fun. I do think that's hilarious. And honestly, if you're knocking stuff over while you're going to be doing it, then good freaking job, because that means you are getting right into it and you're putting the effort in there. So don't be embarrassed next time. Just embrace that shit. Oh God. We were in the middle of things when my roommate's dog, who had always been pretty chill, suddenly jumped up on the bed and started licking my face. The worst part, the dog wasn't stopping. We had to take a break and give the dog a timeout before we could continue. Oh my God. Lock the dog in the bathroom or something. It is not going to take crazy long. The dog will be okay. Honestly, there's nothing more awkward than that. We have had a moment with the dog where the dog comes over, and usually the dog eats my underwear. I don't know why, but honestly, I feel like she just gets jealous because she is a big daddy's girl, and she is a husky shepherd mix. So when me and her dad are doing anything together and she's not involved, she gets very jealous. So she literally, it's like she scouts my underwear, grabs it, and eats it just to the point I literally can't wear them anymore. And it honestly pisses me off. But whatever. Underwear replaceable. She is not. I do love her. But yeah, dogs and cats, any pets can make it really awkward, to be honest. And I do love how it was a paused moment. It wasn't a ended moment, but on a different note, that still would be really awkward. And I honestly would probably jump back to it after 2. But yeah, definitely figure something out to do with the dog when that is going to happen, because you don't want that awkward moment coming up again. I think that's where I'm going to leave it off. I don't want to make the question and story podcast too long. If you guys enjoy it, let me know because I could make the next one longer. But I think this is good for the first one. Again, if you have some funny stories that relate to these podcasts I've done or the next up and coming podcast, let me know because I love sharing the stories. I will keep it 100% anonymous like I just did. You can't see anything, but I have it all beside me so I could go through it all. There is a crap ton more stories and stuff on here though, so I'm honestly might look through them and bring some of them up in future podcasts. But for right now, I am probably going to go take a nap and just relax. I am still so beat from our outing with our friends, and honestly, I need to get some rest. But I hope you guys enjoyed the question and story podcast. I will be back next week with a brand new podcast. I'm not sure what our topic's going to be, but if you have any ideas of something you want to hear about or talk about, drop it in the comments and let me know. And yeah, I guess until next time.